Hey guys, Travis here on day 2 of Battle of the Atlantic. I guess it's day 1. It depends on if you count the first day. I don't even know. But either way, I'm in Cologne right after, Alliance's win against Dignitas. Wickd, your first competitive match on Alliance, how did it feel?
Well, it felt great because we've been playing together for a long time now, and all our scrims have been really positive. We actually haven't had a single argument yet, where people got heated and angry at each other, so it's been really good. And I feel like with this team, no one cares if people make mistakes. They're just going to try and make up for it with their own play and mechanical skill, which is awesome.
So you guys haven't had too many arguments. I mean, some of the players on your team known to be a little hot-headed. Do you think that that's the case, or is it just like you guys are maybe all the hotheads kind of cancel each other out?
I don't really think anyone on my team is hot-headed that bad. I think it's more about how they just used to approach solo queue, where they approach it like it doesn't really matter, it's just for fun, whatever, and they're just doing that. But now, I haven't had anyone who got angry or was heated, so it's really great right now.
So let's talk about your roster. How did you guys land on this? I know Froggen did a little bit of a vlog about it, but maybe from your perspective, how did you end up grabbing all these different guys?
So right after Gamescom, you have to go back to that. We were all kind of disappointed that we didn't qualify for Worlds, obviously. We weren't good enough and we didn't qualify. I think the old team, we were good enough to be an LCS team. We could compete, but my goal, and Froggen's goal at least, is to be number 1. So Froggen went out and looked for other opportunities and wanted to make his own team, which start all the super team rumors and so on, because they're trying out things. And me, on the other hand, I was trying to find out what I wanted to do. I got offers to go to America, but I never really wanted to go to America because I think the region as a whole is a little weaker, and I'd rather stay in Europe and practice here. So I was asking around the SK, finding out what all the amateur teams that I thought had potential was doing and so on, and I got offers to join SK at one point as well. But I was still under contract, and EG wants to keep me, or Alliance now that it is, and that's pretty much how it went down.
And then for your lineup, you guys have these 4 All-Stars, and then Kazmich, who looks good in that game, but he's kind of not he's not as well known as the other guys. How did you guys land on him?
Who?
Kazmich.
No, just
I said it right? Yeah.
You might have. I didn't really hear.
Kazmich, yeah.
No, I do.
That American accent.
Yeah.
Accent.
Kazmich is one of the strongest challenger players right now, in my opinion. Solo queue, he's always doing good. He plays unique champions, you saw Cillian today. He went really well first game, and then Dignitas has banned him out. So he's just a great player overall that we found in solo queue. We're this guy's amazing in support. Why should we not take him?
Okay. So is he pretty solid right now? Is this the 5-man roster that you guys are going to keep?
Well, I think he's a really solid player and so on, but you never know what happens in the future, so I can't really tell about that.
All right. So maybe still up in the air at this point. Moving forward, what do you think of Alliance's future, the potential, especially after playing that first match? Obviously, Dignitas maybe not the strongest team, but you guys think that you're going to dominate EU LCS coming soon, or do you think that there's a lot of challengers and you guys will sort of struggle?
So we have been scrimming against some teams. I know scrims doesn't say everything, but we've been doing quite good against a lot of the teams. I would say that NIP right now seems to be incredibly strong. Fnatic, we played a few times. We have a winning record against them, but they seem incredibly strong, and I think they hadn't practiced that much before the scrims we had against them. I think in Europe, I'm not sure if we're going to be number 1, number 2, number 3, or worse than that, but we're definitely aiming at becoming the best we can, and we're going all in for number 1.
Somebody, I forget who named something as a super team. Are you guys the super team, the EU super team? Is that a fair enough statement?
I wouldn't call any teams in Europe a super team because all the teams in Europe right now are incredibly strong, and any team can win the tournament. So you saw Copenhagen Wolves, they're doing incredibly strong. They beat one of the old teams quite convincing, I would say. It was 3-1, but the games were a little one-sided in my opinion.
Hey, where are you guys living right now? Are you living in the same place that you lived on when you were in EG, or where do you guys live now in EU?
Yeah, we're living in the same place because it doesn't really make sense to change apartments, and then we already had one. So it's just the same old.
How long have you been living with all the new guys? I know not Froggen, obviously, but...
So we have been living together for 2 or 3 days now. We haven't really been living for that long because we just got here for the tournament. And then we're going to go back home, hold Christmas, New Year's, and then we're going to go back to Cologne and practice for the next half year, pretty much.
Just based on the 2 to 3 days, what's it like living with everybody? Anybody have any weirdness about them?
Well, I would say everyone got weirdness. Every single person in the world got something that's weird about them. Yeah. But I haven't noticed it yet because we've only been together for so few days that you don't really know yet. Yeah.
So you don't have Tabs likes to walk around in boxers all day long or anything like that?
I haven't seen Tabs walking around in boxers yet, so I don't think that's it. But maybe there's something else.
Well, we'll have to find out. Hopefully, the next interview we can uncover the dirt. So let's talk about Battle of the Atlantic really quickly. Obviously, you guys have struck the first blow for EU. Going forward, obviously, NA is going to win the next 4 matches. But what do you think? What do you think it could turn out to be if NA doesn't win those?
I think Fnatic is going to beat Cloud. I heard they're playing Cloud9.
Yeah.
Right,
It's the rematch. Right?
Yeah. I think Fnatic is going to beat them and bring scrim them. And as I said, they have a incredible potential and they're a really strong team. So I think they're definitely up there and will beat Cloud9. Then the other teams, I'm not too sure about. For example, Lemon Dogs, they got a new roster. We haven't played them, so I can't really say anything about them. So it's kind of hard for the other teams, in my opinion.
Okay. If you had to predict who would win Battle of the Atlantic, EU or NA, would you say NA?
Well, if it makes you happy, I could say NA, but I'm pretty sure Europe is going to take this one. Right. I'm sorry, Travis.
Yeah. Sorry. I guess that's fair. All right, so obviously your first match, as I've mentioned, but I think a lot of people might have been fans of you and Froggen from EG. Obviously, the rest of your team has some fans as well. Do you think that you have a lot of fans after that match? Do you think that maybe brought you guys in with a strong force that you're going to be able to, grab those fans who are like, EG Alliance, what the hell?
Well, I think if the fans were fans of us as a whole team, like me, Froggen, Snoopy, Crabbo, and Yellow Pete, then we can just continue to be fans of all of us. They can still be fans of EG. They can still be fans of us. That's totally cool. Our goal is to be the winner team right now, and we want to just do everything we can to possibly win.
Well, speaking of EG, they have to duke it out to stay in the North American LCS or kind of get their way in. I don't know how you want to put it, but what do you think their chances are right now? I mean, obviously you've played with these 3 guys forever. So what do you think their chances are?
I played with them for a long time, so I know how good they are and stuff, but I don't really know how good the NA scene is. I don't know how good the challenge teams are facing, and I don't know how good the 2 new players on the team is, so I can't really say anything about that. But I definitely hope they win, because we've been bros for so long. We've been together for 2 years, and that's probably my best 2 years of my life. Right?
Well, if I can, you would think that EG, they were in EU LCS, and now they have to duke it out against challenger teams. Do you think that shouldn't they beat the challenger teams in that case?
Well, yes and no. Like, as we saw yesterday, MYM against Copenhagen Wolves won that. So the challenger teams have been practicing incredibly hard just to get back in, where the LCS teams have been like, yeah, we're in LCS, this is nice, this is comfortable. But the challenger teams have that drive that LCS teams don't really have, because they need this, they want this, and they've been practicing so hard for it.
So EG right now not a shoo-in to North American LCS, it sounds like you're saying.
I'm saying that you never know what happens.
Never know what happens. You have any shout-outs, anything you want to say here at the end of the interview? Maybe even to all the new Alliance fans or people who are seeing you with an A next to your name now?
I'll make a huge shout-out to all the fans that are still fans of us. It's really awesome that you guys are sticking for us and helping us out. Like, the support means everything, pretty much. The more support you have, the more motivated you are to practice, and you just feel good about it. And then I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Razer, XMG, and Monster. Thanks for still supporting us. It's really awesome to have you guys helping us out.
Very good. Thank you so much, Wickd. Congratulations on your win. Really looking forward to seeing the future of your team, all your teammates and such as well. You can check out the rest of our coverage at ongamers.com.